The Boston Bruins were handed a very tough loss tonight against the Carolina Hurricanes, which leads to many things going towards the playoffs not being right. But this is also not such a bad thing. I'll be talking about that here in this video as to why it isn't, as well as some things from the game, and we also have the comment of the day here at the end of the video, as well as the potential biggest problem this team may possess heading into the playoffs. But before we get into all of this very important news here, we notice that 88% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your Boston Bruins news, you're in the right spot. Make sure to hit the sub button, join me along here as we cover this team heading into a very exciting playoff run. And we hit 1,000 subscribers. In the last video, I mentioned if we could hit it before the playoffs, that would be awesome. I only uploaded that yesterday and we got to 1,000 today, so I appreciate every single one of you here on this channel to hit the sub button. I really enjoyed talking with this, a great community here already, and we're only in the beginning, so I just want to say very quickly thank you for your support. But let's not waste any more time of me yapping, but let's get straight into this video here. As you can see here, the Bruins were handed a very unfortunate loss. It was one that really nothing good came out of this game at all, to be honest with you. There was not one single good thing that we've seen from this game, but this is also not such a bad thing. And like I said, I'll explain here why. But I'm just going to pull up this tweet here, which perfectly sums up the game here, in my opinion. This is from the Bruins Network Twitter account. An uninspiring game from the top six, the top pair, and the goalie tonight. Still have some lineup decisions to iron out, but not sweating this loss. Boston just beat Washington, battling for the second wild card, Nashville, Carolina, and Florida in a row for their 4-game win streak, 3 days off before Saturday's next game, which is something that I think is going to be a very important break here these upcoming 3 days. The Bruins had a very busy past few days getting these very big wins, proving a lot in those games that this team is actually ready for the playoffs, like Jim Montgomery had said where they weren't a couple weeks ago, and they've really flipped the switch on that quote, really flipped the switch on that idea of this team not being ready for the playoffs, and we've seen a huge change in such a short amount of time. And in this game, it kind of seemed like they reverted back to that old Bruins we had seen a couple weeks ago, just after the deadline until, a few weeks ago, about really that time where they had really not really found anything yet. They were still working out a few things, but they seemed to find their way back, and now kind of seem to go back once again. But this is going to be something that they're going to go up against throughout here and there. We've seen it before in the NHL. That's no surprise. A very busy past few games. Like I said, they proved a lot as well, and they just couldn't really find their groove this game. But that's not going to be a huge problem. We've seen that it was a very busy past few games. A lot of physicality in these past few games, and a break will be nice, and I think it's going to work out for them here very good. Pull up the box score. Not too much really here to show once again. A lot of minuses on this. Not too much time on ice for really anybody on the offensive side, as nobody could really get anything going. But the main reason I wanted to pull this up here was Jeremy Sweeney, right at the bottom. He made some very solid saves in this game. There was not much he could do, to be honest with you, with the offense and the defense just not working for the Bruins, and the Carolina Hurricanes just completely dominating this game. From start to finish. A Michigan goal, which he said that he never wanted to let in, happened. After that, we kind of seen the energy just slowly fall out of the game. It wasn't on the Bruins' favor, but it's going to be a nice break. I've said it a lot, but that's really what I'm feeling here in this game, that it was just a point of exhaustion. A lot of traveling, a lot of games, a lot of busy activities. Unlike what playoff hockey will be, it'll be going back and forth, a lot of plenty of physicality, plenty of training, a whole bunch of stuff coming for these playoffs, but it's not like a regular season hockey, so we're gonna kind of brush past this loss. I think it's gonna be good. The Bruins found out what they did wrong, some things they did right, and whatnot, and stuff like this. So it's a game to learn from. It's a game that they're gonna have to take in before the playoffs. Look back on this one, see what they did wrong. We know Carolina's a fantastic team. You hate to say it. You really hate to say it. Carolina's a fantastic team. A Michigan goal, which I personally hate, but it is kind of cool to see. It just drives me nuts when it goes in, but it's something to learn from here. But I have the Bruins stat card here as well, as you can see. Not a great game from really anybody here. That's no surprise. Charlie McAvoy, the sole goal scorer, played like Charlie McAvoy, just not as good as he could have been, but that was really the only positive on this team. Matt Grzelcyk, Bogfist, Trent Frederic, Jeremy Lauko. The other ones that had a bit of positive, a lot of negatives from everybody else here, though. And I also wanted to pull up the Hurricanes card. You can see the exact mirror opposite. A lot of positive from just about everybody on this team, and they really walked with this one and seemed to have no trouble at all here. But like I said, it's going to be a game that the Bruins are just going to have to look at before they get to this playoff run, see what they did wrong, and just let it go by. Don't stress on this one too much. A loss had to come before the playoffs, and this was the perfect game to do it, where the Hurricanes were just on their game. The best way to put it, and one thing that you have to give them props for. They played well out here tonight, and it just wasn't our night. But this could be a really big problem here that we noticed in this game. Possibly one that is going to be a major factor heading into these playoffs, and that was actually a defensive pairing. Now, the Bruins defense isn't the best at puck moving. We know that. Charlie McAvoy, definitely a fantastic puck mover, but there isn't too much else on this defense. Too many other players that really excel in that area of their game. And this is a screenshot here, once again, from the Bruins Network. What I've seen a lot of people say as well, the biggest potential issue with this Wotherspoon and Peeke pairing is on display tonight. The lack of puck-moving skill when you're under pressure. Teams like Carolina who pressure with speed are going to hem them up in their own end before any of their net front positives can show through. And this is exactly what I've seen many people say here about this game, and I saw it myself on display tonight. This defensive pairing of that two, not the best puck-moving defensemen. We're not going to say that they are in the top of that category, and very rarely are defensemen in that. This takes a special breed. You have the Hughes brothers, Luke and Quinn, that is on the defensive side, Charlie McAvoy, and a few other. It's a very Cale Makar. It's a very rare puck-moving skill defenseman, and we saw that tonight that wasn't the best in this game. And the Bruins are going to have to take this into consideration going into these playoffs, what they're going to do with Andrew Peeke, what they're going to do with Parker Wotherspoon, and really iron out what they want to do with this defense. Over these past few games, we've seen many different movements on the defensive side of things on the lines, as I expected, just to see what would work and what is the best option ahead of the playoffs. But they really haven't seen any excessive success in a few pairings. Some that they're going to have to stick with, I think, are the original ones we had, although that Lindholm hasn't been playing great lately and whatnot. But I really think that once they find what they want to do, find what works, and they stick with that, it's going to be a better appointment, I guess, or a better result from the defensive core when they find someone they want to play with, someone they like to play. So that's something to keep an eye on. One thing that really is going to be tough in these playoffs, especially like Bruins Network said, against a team like Carolina, who are just such an offensive pressure team, and even on their own defensive side of things, they pressure you a lot, and that's going to be a very big thing to take note of in the playoffs, where many teams that are going to be in here this season play that way. So that's one thing to watch. I think one thing that the Bruins really need to keep an eye on and work out as quick as possible, but not rush it. And, it's going to take time, but we don't have too much time left, so I hope they can find something soon that works out well with this. But one final topic here, and we're bringing it back. The comment of the day, didn't do it in the last video, had way too much news to talk about, and I didn't want to make the video ages, but this one here just came out right before I filmed this video, and I don't know if this is about the game tonight, but it perfectly sums it up what I've seen a lot of people say on Twitter. This one, I don't know how to say that name, but you see, the Bruins are either killers or totally inept. They'll get dumped in the first round again. Inconsistency isn't playoff hockey. See you next year. Now, I've seen a lot of people say this. I don't want to say this. It's way too early to say this, but I can see where people are understanding this from, and especially in this game tonight against Carolina, where the Bruins just seem to have nothing going for them. No hope in this game at all, apart from the first 5 minutes, maybe. They had 6 shots, 30 minutes into the game. Not ideal, but we've seen the Bruins, what they can do in these past few games. This one is going to be an anomaly from what we've seen last. I expect what we see on Saturday and for the rest of the regular season. It's going to be nice for the Bruins to get a break, like I said earlier, and it's going to be a good regroup here after this game, see what they did wrong, and move on to the next ones. And what we've seen these last 4 games, these last 4 wins, have been really, really good. So I hope to continue this. I hope the Bruins just had an off day. It happens. I'll keep on saying it and just turn it around for the next ones, but it's okay. Bruins fans, we're still fine. This game is definitely not one that you want to keep in mind for too long. It's not going to be one that is going to be spoken about too much here in the playoffs. So let's just move past this one. Look forward to the next game. and see this team move on from this one as well, because that's exactly what I expect this team to do, is just look at this, move on to the next game, and completely forget about it at the beginning of next game. So let me know what you think about the game tonight. Definitely a tough one. What you noticed, anything else maybe alongside that defensive issues that they had, but like I said, I expect this team to move on perfectly next game. So let me know what you think about all this stuff here, especially this game, but that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.